So today we're going to talk about Wolfenstein New Order and why you need to play this game. For the uninitiated, or if you still yet haven't managed to play this game, the game is set in an alternate universe where the Nazis won the World War II, and that's where the story begins. The Wolfenstein New Order came out in 2014 and is an action-adventure, first-person shooter developed by Machine Games and published by Bethesda Softworks. The game is being played on AMD Ryzen 1600 processor with 16 gigs of RAM and on 1080p resolution. As the name of the video suggests, spoilers ahead. Story. We control Captain BJ Blazkowicz, and in the first mission itself, our hero is on a bomber plane trying to destroy Dr. Death's Head compound, the main villain of the game. Obviously, not everything goes according to the plan, and our heroes find out the hard way the superiority of Nazi forces, as somehow they have managed to get their hands on some sort of advanced weaponry. Blazkowicz's plane crashes on the island, and along the way, resistance forces with BJ gets captured by Dr. Death's Head. Doctor gives BJ a game-altering choice. However, for sake of carrying the plot forward, Doctor leaves BJ and survivors to be finished off by his minions. Naturally, our heroes survive. However, while escaping, BJ suffers a head injury and ends up in the mental asylum.
Her name is Anya. She takes good care of me.
In the asylum, BJ meets Anya for the first time. She's the nurse who takes care of him and also his love interest in the game. Sometime later, the asylum is attacked by the Nazis. BJ wakes up and ends up exterminating Nazi forces before escaping with Anya. They both go to Anya's grandparents' house. This is where BJ finds out that the US was defeated in the war and all the resistance members were captured. Blazkowicz interrogates a Nazi officer who tells him where captured resistance members are kept. Anya's grandparents help BJ in smuggling Anya to Stettin, from where they catch a train to Berlin. During the train ride, BJ meets Frau Engel for the first time. When they arrive in Berlin, Anya helps BJ break into Eisenwald prison, where they rescue prisoner Fergus or Wyatt depending upon the earlier choice the players made. This is where BJ finds out that the resistance movement is led by Caroline, who was left paralyzed in a separate incident. Next, the resistance execute an attack on Nazi research facility in London, recovering secret documents that reveal how Nazis are relying on reverse engineered tech derived from Dat Yeshud. And with that reverse engineering, they created all those advanced weaponry, AI, and superconcrete. However, it was also mentioned in the documents that someone was tampering with the superconcrete's formula, making it susceptible to mold. The resistance finds out that a member of Dat Yeshud named Set is still alive and imprisoned at a Nazi prison camp. BJ infiltrates the prison, rescues Set, incapacitates Frau Engel, liberates the prisoners while destroying the camp.
Here we are.
Set reveals the location of one of the hidden Dat Yeshud caches, but accessing it requires a U-boat. So BJ obtains a U-boat with nuclear warheads which require key codes from Nazi lunar facility to operate. BJ and party uses a super weapon to destroy the bridge made with super concrete in order to steal the identity of a lunar scientist and infiltrate the lunar base. After stealing the codes and upon his return to Earth, Blazkowicz finds that Engel has mounted an assault on resistance base and capturing survivors on behalf of Death's Head. Thus, resistance again one final time breaks into Death's Head compound. There BJ fights Death's Head in a giant mecha suit and defeats him. But General takes out a grenade which explodes, killing him and wounding BJ gravely. Believing the resistance survivors are safe, Blazkowicz crawls towards the window and gives instructions to fire the nuclear cannon. Wolfenstein's story is backed by a solid gameplay. Unlike Call of Duty, there is no auto health generation system, and players must pick up items, health packs, ammo, etc. manually, and for some odd reason, it does not feel tedious to do so. You can also overcharge your health, however it does come back to normal limits after some time. Weapons in the game require some getting used to, especially if you're coming from Call of Duty. You cannot just empty a machine gun and expect the target to fall flat. All the weapons in the game have some recoil to it and require the players to adapt accordingly. Wolfenstein New Order is a complete reboot of an old franchise, and in a post-Call of Duty era, game manages to hold its own. I personally love how BJ's past is revealed during missions when he's reminiscing his old memories by talking to himself.
I was a kid. The red tide was rising. Went in the water on account of disobeying father. Felt like my skin was on fire.
What I don't like is the constant hand-holding at times in the game as players are hinted at next objective in case there is no progression for a few minutes. Game design is linear as players are forced to move in a single direction most of the time, and any deviation from the path is either met with invisible walls or imminent death. AI of the game is on the dumber side as it may take cover at places where it's not supposed to, and for that reason, game is recommended to be played on higher difficulties. In my 50 plus hours of the game, I have not encountered any major game breaking bugs except for a few crashes here and there. Graphics of the game do not age favorably, as porting from consoles to PC is not that great. There's constant use of low resolution textures around the world and anti-aliasing seems to be missing. This does not, however, hamper the gameplay in any way. Music is expression of self, and good music can make or break a game. In chapter 15, where our resistance camp is under attack and we must go in and try to rescue the survivors, there's fire everywhere and a sense of urgency as players must act swiftly to save the day. This scene is beautifully enhanced by an exceptional musical score named Ransack. The music peaks as the action picks up. It's absolutely a joy to listen to and gives a sense of urgency and a feeling of no tomorrow. It is here where I fell in love with this game. I have played this particular mission countless number of times just to recapture the feeling of absolute rush and hear this particular musical score one more time. I still get goosebumps when I replay this mission every time. Wolfenstein New Order is a beautiful masterpiece of a game and demands that the game must be played at least once. However, once played, you will definitely replay it again. Absolutely recommended if you still haven't yet managed to pick this gem up.